Hello everyone, Devar here to talk about the My Little Ponies Friendship is Magic Season 5 opening episodes that I just seen recently. By the way, folks, just so you know, this will be spoiler-free, this first impressions and thoughts, just so then, if you people still want to see it, you can still see it without being spoiled. Though I will go over the premise for this opening episodes, which I will do right now. Now, the thing is, these two episodes were quite good for what they were. They were very different, that's for sure. But I think that's really good for it because the fact it's not opening up with, oh, it's a great evil like Nightmare Moon or Discord bringing havoc and destruction to Ponyville of some description of all the usual villainy jazz that comes with it. But rather it decides to set up a new balance that we will be seeing in this. And what do I mean by this? Well, allow me to explain with the premise for this episode. Well, for these episodes. Basically, Twilight and her gang are in the new castle's throne room that they got from last season. Don't ask me how long ago that was, since they took residence in that compared to when the castle was built, because the episode doesn't exactly state how long it's been, but if I remember correctly. Anyway, so basically all 6 of them sits on their respective throne chairs, and suddenly a map opens up in the center between them all, showing all of Equestria. And as soon as that happens, their cutie marks shine and goes upon the map, pointing to a place on the map. So Twilight and her gang decide to head out there to see why the map's pointing them to that destination, and head there to see what is the problem or why. Well, they assume it's a problem, like, say, something's going on that's amiss, but they're there mainly to see what exactly is going on and why the map would take them there, only to find that when they get there, they find a strange village full of other ponies who smile constantly in a very, 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 very creepy way that makes you feel uncomfortable. Well, I felt uncomfortable anyway. But I think that's the whole point of it, just because of the whole town's aura and facade of it all. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there. And they would also, in that same episode, meet up with the new villainess of the series, which I will not spoil, but let me put it this way. She is interesting in the fact that she is a character who is not some great evil or some great demon of any description, but rather she is just another normal pony, a unicorn no less, with magic powers. I will not spoil what these powers are either, so just know that she is a type of villain that is very stubborn and no-nonsense, and basically acts as Twilight and her friends opposite of their view of what friendship means and what it is in respects to that, which I find very, I don't want to say good or interesting, but it is. I don't have any other words to state what it is other than those particular words, especially since I'm recording this really late and also in a rush, but I'm getting off topic again. As for the song that accompanied the villainess in this two-parter episode, I couldn't really say anything that stuck out about the song. It just seemed like a okay song with nothing really for me to gripe at, really. It has a nice tempo with some good lyrics, really, in my opinion, anyway. But all it just does for me, really, is just it sets up basically the feel of the entire town, and you could tell that the entire score was written in the style of a town anthem, which suits it. So I really have nothing really to gripe at really, or even say if it's really that great of a song. It just seems to be there. I think I've explained enough about her, really, but everything was good about this episode, in my opinion. Everything flowed really well and had some nice bits of tension here and there, but with all the good things, there is one particular point which is both good and bad. As in, there is one particular scenario that happens within the episode where the main six, Twilight and her friends of course, are in a spot of trouble, and the only ponies they can count on are basically ponies which we have not gotten to know in the episode. It's very good in the fact that we actually see that they were not the ones to save the day, but rather these other ponies that they came to help. But it's a double-edged sword in the fact that you don't really get to know much about these ponies other than one particular scene that lasts for only a minute. Now I know that characters, it's very difficult to build on characters and situations in such a small time frame of 20 minutes per episode, 40 minutes if you consider that this was a two-part special. But I've seen characters built much better than this. It's not terrible, but I'm just want to say that it could have been handled better in that regard. That we could have done with knowing them a bit more. Right. I'm going on to a situation here that my friend Madhog covered on his channel about the situation. Bring up the fact that everyone has been comparing the society of ponies to communism, and when in actual fact it acts more like a totalitarian state. I think everyone is thinking a bit too much about this. You see, the way I put it really is that my first thought as soon as I saw it was the word cult. I know it's very simple, and it's very easy to say that, and it's not as, logically intriguing in that regard that everyone will rather compare it to something a bit more deeper than that, but that's what it is. That's what cults do. Cults are just people that brainwash others to see their point of view until they become one with the fold, so to speak. And that is exactly what the villainess does in these episodes, right down to, recorded messages and books and all that jazz that only states their own views, which was her vision of friendship and true harmony. So that's my two pennies on that matter, really. It's just, I know it's nothing that bold and fantastic compared to what you all are thinking, but sometimes I just can't help but wonder if we're all just trying to look for something a bit much, really, that's where it's not necessary. Well, that's just my thoughts on the matter. Now, the very big, interesting point, I think, throughout all this, is the possibilities this could lead to. You see, the villainess in question, I'm just wondering if she will become a reoccurring villain for one, in the same vein as Trixie did at one point, where she reappeared again. But would this villain basically come back only at the end of the season? Or will she return every so often within the season to solidify herself as the main antagonist for this lot? But that's not the one that makes me salivate with intrigue of what's to come, because I'm more interested in the map itself that they showed in this episode. You see, I noticed that they showed off the cutie marks pointing to the destination in question, and that made me wonder, will the map choose which one of them should go? Like, for example, will the cutie marks that appear on the map only show like 2 or 3 cutie marks on the map in the destination in question? Like to a single destination? Or will all 6 of them be needed but be split off into groups to show 2 different destinations for them? And that opens up possibilities. for what they could be doing with these characters at this point. And more so interesting if you consider the fact that we get to be able to finally see more of their world. And that just makes me gush with intrigue to basically know more about their world and more about the lore outside of what we once knew, what we know already. And that makes it all the more exciting in a sense for a cartoon anyway, to me anyway. Anyway, I've babbled on long enough, and I hope I can this was bearable, but I'm not used to talking on my own compared to when I usually talk with other people in these sort of things, but I hope you all enjoyed it regardless. Anyway, I think it's also best to note that I'm not really a My Little Ponies fan. I mean, I did watch the old ones, a couple of episodes of the Generation 1 My Little Ponies when I was younger, but not too much. I'm more of a fan of the cartoons in general. I just really love animated cartoons, regardless of what the demographic is, if that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't considering I'm babbling a bit. Anyway, I best be off now. So thanks for listening, folks, and hope you have a good day or night, or have a wonderful day wherever you are. Take care.